Yup. What's happening? Everybody, it's raining, it's freezing, it's supposed to sleet outside, but yet it's a privilege to be alive. It's a privilege just to know God, and it's a privilege to be able to talk and have your limbs. But look, I won't be before you long. I just had, typically I do relationship Fridays, right? Hey, Tanil. Typically I do relationship Fridays, but today I am going to move that date up to Tuesday, Relationship Tuesday. Simply because I was listening to the radio this morning. I was listening to the Ricky Smiley morning show, and they had what's called paternity test Tuesdays. And there were two individuals, one, a young lady, and a guy. They were married. So he went over to Iraq, and while he was gone, she allowed somebody else, she went out and messed with somebody. So as a result, so they having a paternity test Tuesday. And listen to her reasoning. Listen to the reasoning. And this is going to be the substratum of what we're going to get to. She said he was away. Now keep in mind, she was a virgin before. He was the first one. Her husband was the first one she ever messed with, so on and so forth. And so she was a virgin before he met him, right? Then he went over to Iraq. Right? It was somewhere. He went over to Iraq to serve the country. He didn't go anywhere to fool around. He didn't go anywhere to, party or anything of that nature. He did something positive, constructive. And he went over there, to serve, to perform his duty to provide for his family. In doing so, she's home. And Ricky Smiley asked her the question. He said, "What made you do it?" She said three things. And I think, and this is going to be the focal point of our discussion, right? She said, "I was bored." She said, "I was curious to know what another man felt like." That's number one. She said, "I was lonely." That's number two. This is crazy, right? And she said, he very seldom called. That's number three. He very seldom called. You know why? Because he was out there doing his due diligence. He's thousands of miles away. And I don't know if you guys remember when I talked about you have to date somebody or be in a relationship with somebody that know what being bored looks like. Let me give it to you again. You have to be in a relationship with somebody who knows what being bored looks like. That's number one. And we'll get to that. The second thing is that you have to be in a relationship with somebody who has that they don't have to think like you, but their standards has to be on the same equation, has to be the lowest common denominator of your relationship, or the lowest common denominator of your character has to be the same. It doesn't matter, all of the superficial and things of that nature. That necessarily doesn't have to be the same, because nowhere in the relationship are you ever going to find two people that are equal. But the morals, the standards, the lowest common denominator has to be the same. Why? Because the person, regardless of what happens, the faithfulness of that person and the sacrifice that they're not willing to make has to be there. If they know that the potential of losing you or the potential of an infecting can affect and have a detrimental effect on the relationship, they can't be willing to take that jump. You have to be with somebody who you share the foundation with. Are you hearing me? So often we date people. Why? We date people for the moment, but we don't date people for to create a monument. Let me give it to you again. We date people for the moment. What's happening in the here and now? How does this person make me feel? How does this person look? How does this person interact with me? What's the commonalities of the relationship? But we don't date people, they're right now. We don't date people for a monument. What is the actions of a monument? The actions of a monument is to do what? Build and erect something that's going to last. It's a difference. And the only way that you can build a monument is how? Because you build a monument on a firm foundation. And here you have two people. A paternity test. He is in question of the relationship. I mean, he's in question if this son his. Why? Because she went out and did something that she can't take back. It's terrible. I'm asking you, do you have what it takes that when the going gets tough, that you're going to stick around, that you're going to be there for the longevity of it? Do you have what it takes? If you don't have what it takes, then you need to build and have it in your mind that this is who I am and this is what I'm going to stand for. Is the person that you're interested in, is the relationship that you're interested in, is the person that you're interested in pursuing, do they have that like-mindedness? I'm talking about not from the prefrontal cortex. I'm not talking about the rationalization and things. I'm talking about the foundation of it all. Do they believe in God enough that they're not going to put it all on the line and risk what you're trying to build or what you have built? It's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing. I never forget years ago, right? A friend of mine, right? Her husband had a transplant, right? So he had a kidney transplant. And so as a result of his kidney transplant, he couldn't get up. This is a G-rated, Facebook thing. So he couldn't get up, right? So, her and I, we would have in the discussions, we were cool. You know what I'm saying? Nothing like, she's like a sister to me or whatever. So he couldn't get up. I said, well, he can do other things. She said, he's worn that out, right? So, and I can say this because we're no longer friends or anything of that nature. So she said, he's worn that out. I said, well, you need to go to some counseling or something. She said, Richard, I'm at my wit's end. He can't get up. The only thing that he's doing right now is working hard. And that's not enough. I said, but you guys can do other things. She said, no. She said, Richard, he can't get up. Right? So here you have a man that's out there working his butt off, providing all of this. So she said, Richard, he can't get up. To the degree she kept going on and all of that. And all of us have, friends and, that we talk to, and she needed somebody to talk to. So I talked. I said, so what you going to do? She said, I've been telling you all of this to try to figure out what you're trying to do. Did you hear what I said? Because he's down, she's ready to throw the towel in and put it all on the line. Instead of going to him and try to make things work emotionally and mentally, she's caught up in the physical nature. And so after that, I said, nah, I let her know that that's just not going to happen, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. She, I don't even know, dude, but she apologized, for even coming at me like that, so on and so forth. But what I'm saying to you is that if you're ever going to do it properly, if you're ever going to maturate, if you're ever going to mesh together, if you're ever going to build something, you have to deal with people where your ideology is the same. where your mindset is the same. That the undergirding, the substratum, the bottom line is, for God I live and for God I die. When I heard that, that pained me. I ain't gonna lie to you. That hurt me. Because for men, you know, women, you guys can forgive and all of that, but men, nah. Once you cheat and do that, nah, it ain't no coming back. If it is coming back, and listen to this, I'm saying to you, if a man can come back after that, his capacity, his emotional tolerance, or his mental capacity and all of that has to be operating on 100. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't coming back. And I don't care what you say. That's my feelings. These are my thoughts. I know what I can and cannot handle. So I'm leaving you with this. In order to be blessed, for your relationship to be blessed, in order for you to maintain a healthy relationship, in order for you to pursue somebody and get entangled with somebody and have any kind of future with somebody, you have to, right, you don't leave, exactly, Monty. In order to be entangled, it says, for better or worse, through sickness and in health, to death do us part. When you adopt that kind of language and you say yes to that kind of language, even in a relationship, you don't even have to, you don't even have to be married as of yet. You got to get with somebody that's ready to build something. You got to get with somebody that's ready to build something. And for those of us out here, and I'm going to close with this. I promise you I'm going to close with this because this touched me. If we're going to ever go somewhere in life, I can't tell you enough. You have to date one person at a time. Stop playing yourself. You want to have, you want to talk to 5 and 6 different people on the phone. And, the women, they want to go ahead and talk to 5 or 6 different people. And men, they want to go ahead and play these games. And I'm trying to tell you, if you talk to 3 people, hypothetically, right? Let's say you just talk to 3 people and you're trying to figure out which one is best for you. You're going to mess up. Why? Because 3 things are going to happen. Your perception, how you perceiving this person, your judgment is split 3 ways, which means that you're giving each individual 33 1/3%, which means that you're not giving this individual 100%, which means that the other 67% allows for a rat to enter in. And you're going to wind up picking the wrong person. And then you're going to wonder why you got played. Why? Because you want to go ahead and be so 33 exactly. You want to go ahead and play games. It's saying relationships is not about prices right, baby. Nah, you can go ahead with that. Your heart doesn't have a price. It's priceless, but you want to see who the price is right for. We ain't playing those games. You got women out here still using men for a meal. Huh? You got men out here who want to play. Let me tell you something, and I promise you I'm going to close, because this right here touches me in my heart. A man can date. Listen to this and take this to the bank. Your boy ain't going to tell you nothing. You can't read what I'm telling you in any book. A man can date 25 women and not feel nothing for none of them. Not feel anything for none of them. A woman can date 25 men, and I guarantee you she'll feel something for at least 3 of them. Maybe 2. Be careful of who you date, how you date, and make sure that you date with a clear perspective, a clear judgment in mind, that you're working towards building a monument and not the moment. Man, I love you. Your boy. Y'all like my little sweater? I love you. Holla at your boy.